See, Tuek, your mind, it is like a gun. And you want to load it up with little itty bitty bullets of knowledge.
What's going on, family? It's your guy Boro, the Lucky Libra, and thank you for tuning in to another episode. Alright, as you can see by the title, we're picking up the Debilitation series, alright, with the Virgo Archetype. Now, before we get into it, y'all make sure to tap into my website to connect with the Lucky Libra and tap into my Patreon, where I'm getting into deeper analysis, celebrity, synastry, breakdowns, monthly classes, and more. So let's get right into it, and shout out to my beloved Virgos, alright? Shout out to my beloved Virgos. So when we talk about my Virgos, a Virgo gonna help you keep some things in order. Virgo gonna be the example to the world of why your ass need to pay attention, need to have attention to detail, how to do things accordingly. All right. How to schedule things in order to cultivate your reality, or how things need to be scheduled or be done in a certain sequence. All right. Innately know how to do these things when we talk about the Virgo archetype. Why? Because we talk about mutable earth ruled by Mercury. The mutable energy is adaptable, it's changeable, it's flexible amongst the element that it's ruled by, which is earth. And we know earth deals with foundation, stability. It holds things in because it's a container. It's stable. It deals with common sense and it deals with practicality. All right, earth signs are trying to make sense of things. So Virgos are adaptable and changeable with how they deal with that earth element. So they're adaptable and changeable with their forms of cultivating stability, learning how other people deal with stability, being able to give advice and information and communicate about things revolving around career, business, making money, stability, you know, all type of realistic gains. Okay? And when we look at Mercury, Mercury is the planetary ruler. Mercury represents how we think and we communicate, how we see the details of things, how we organize our thoughts before we communicate them to others, how we develop ideas, how we critically think, and how we communicate, how we articulate ourselves, our word bank, how we process our thoughts. That's all Mercury. So you throw that into the archetype of mutable earth, now you have an energy that is very critical, very analytical when it comes to earthly like things, when it comes to building. Loves to communicate or articulate itself when it comes to things dealing with reality or giving a realistic point of view on things. The mind has heavy durability here. Well, excuse me, not the mind, but Virgos. The Virgo archetype, the mind of a Virgo has heavy durability. The mind can endure things that take focus or attention to detail. All right? Shit. I just said this in the other video. My barber and my hair braider, they both got Virgo energy in there. They both got Virgo energy. You feel me? So they gonna take their goddamn time in perfecting that standard. That Mercury kick in. That Mercury is stimulated when it's doing something that they gotta put something together, dealing with instructions, dealing with work ethic, dealing with something it's carving, dealing with something that it's hand-on building. Yeah, you got a Virgo. You all up in that Virgo energy. Alright? But definitely when we start trickling things down into scheduling, routine, and organizing overall in reality. Now, when we get into the debilitation, okay, when we get into the debilitation, the planets that's debilitated here is Jupiter and Neptune. When we look at the zodiac sign that's on the opposite axis of Virgo, that's Pisces. Alright, so you got Pisces and Virgo on that opposite axis, and Jupiter and Neptune. Jupiter rules Pisces and is home in the 12th house, and Neptune co-rules Pisces. So Jupiter rules our experiences, how we learn in this lifetime, what we're learning in this lifetime, what knowledge and wisdom we brought here, how we spiritually expand based off of our experiences. Jupiter's always teaching us. So wherever you have Jupiter in your chart, not only are you learning there, I should be able to interview you about that area of your life, and you should be able to pour wisdom into the interview. All right, because that's what Jupiter is doing. It's helping you expand. It's expanding your spiritual awareness. So it's dealing with, you know, how you even perceive spirituality as well. Spiritual or religious influences. Dealing with philosophy. Jupiter's dealing with faith. Jupiter's dealing with belief. Okay? Then when we get into Neptune, that co-rules Pisces, Neptune is dealing with your imagination. The collective consciousness, alright? The subconscious, spirituality, our wisdom as well. We could also say Neptune is like a higher octave of the Jupiter energy. So when it comes to all these energies is a debilitation for Virgo. All of that's a debilitation for Virgo. So when you got a Virgo trying to use, when you throwing so much energies at a Virgo, you working on let's say you and a Virgo working on a certain project together, and you just throwing so much faith and belief, and you gotta believe it's gonna work, and don't worry, it's gonna be okay, and you gotta have an optimistic, bright point of view of looking at it. Like, yeah, I hear all that shit. I hear all that shit. Let's get to the work though. We have to work on it though. We have to carve this thing and see and get it to its best potential. Like, all that faith and belief shit is cool. Ain't no miracle without the work. I know there's a saying out there, something, ain't no faith without the work, or whatever. You leave it in the comments. Alright, because that's Virgo came up with that phrase. Okay, you can't be throwing so much broader optimistic points of views to a Virgo with no reality, with no strategy. They'll appreciate if you give them some actual information, something they could do, something they could work on, some actual detail. They'll appreciate that when you bring them type of solutions. So I say everybody's different, man. And ain't nothing really positive or negative, because what's positive to me can be negative to you. What's positive to you can be negative to me. Alright? You know, certain signs when they dealing with certain shit in life, they may just want to communicate or relate their ideas. AKA air signs or a Gemini. You know? Certain water signs might just want to connect. Might have somebody to connect to make them feel better so they could attack their frustrations or what they're dealing with in life the next day. When you talk about earth signs, especially Virgos, they want practical solutions. So all that faith, belief, and philosophy shit, that shit ain't really, that Virgos have to learn to deal with that energy some more, Virgos. You have to be able to deal with that energy some more. You naturally strategizing and seeing all the details and things, you gonna naturally do that. But when it comes to that faith and belief aspect, when it comes to looking at your experiences and being able to evolve based off of how you're walking the path and the journey for something, instead of trying to make sure step 1 is perfectly walked and step 2 is perfectly walked. Experience it. Jupiter rules experience. Neptune rules the wisdom extracted from your experiences and how you spiritually expand. When energies is in unison, so you have to put yourself in them situations, Virgo. I've mentioned this before. I know some of the most creative Virgos in the world, but they have to experience and express and experiment with their creative attributes. Sometimes it could be so critical of what it is that they're working on that it don't get to see time of day. You don't get to give it no life. Your creative attribute don't get to experience. You living, you breathing. Is your dream alive? Is your dream experiencing, Virgo? Can you give me you know, because the Virgos that have alignments that help them to not be so, the Virgo gonna be critical, so I ain't gonna say not be so critical. Let me not say that. I ain't gonna put that image out there, but let's say a Virgo got a sun sextile Mars, or you know, a moon conjunct Mars or something. So like they go through the stumbles. They're not so critical. They think about it, but they say fuck all the thinking. They end up experimenting. Like you'll see a Virgo that do some crazy shit. But that's the thing with this debilitation. The practicalization, if that's even a goddamn word, but being overly practical can stunt what is it that you need to experience to gain certain gems, to gain certain experience, to learn certain things, to evolve and craft what is it that you're creatively working on, or whatever your personal endeavors or pursuits. You need the experience, Virgos. It's not so much being in the lab and seeing how things work. So that's what we want to keep in mind there with Jupiter and Neptune. Okay. And this trickles down to everything in life, Virgos. Not just what you're working on, your relationships. And we're gonna get there, because the next, what the fall planet is Venus. But gotta have more faith in the things that you're dealing with, and gotta deal with more of the philosophical touch to the things that you're dealing with. That's gonna ease some of the energies that overwhelm you and make you worry a lot, Virgos. This is where your nervousness energy comes from. Mercury rules the nervous system, so since that energy rules your planet, you're already going to deal with, you know, some type of nerves problem based off of your Mercury being overstimulated, always thinking, calculating, seeing the details of things, processing your thoughts and whatnot, processing what you're about to communicate, what you just communicated, what somebody else is communicating, what somebody else is working on, how somebody else is building something, how their environment is molded around you, like all of that. You know, that's the mind of a Virgo. So, you know, here, that's where that worrying energy develops. It's not so much of you being scared of things, it's more so you trying to make sure things get right, or you see how things is perfect, and then it's always going to feel like things ain't perfect, or you missing the detail of something. So you're worrying in that type of aspect. Worrying that you're not working on your relationship a certain way for it to play out. Worrying that, you know, this, that, and the third. So we know you're going to work on it. You're going to do that. You're going to do that, Virgo. We know you're going to do that. You're going to strategize. You're going to make sure we got gas in the car before we go on a road trip. You're going to make sure we have rolling papers and an extra lighter for the cipher. You're going to make sure you know you're going to make sure you and your partner got protection. You and this one night stand person, you're going to make sure y'all got protection. You know? So, with this type of energy, this is just what Virgo's got to understand. And this is why Virgos can deal with a lot of situations in life where you manifest situations that force you to take quote-unquote leaps of faith. It's going to be many moments of having to take leaps of faith, Virgos. And this is something I'm seeing is very apparent in every Virgo I know. Very apparent. Okay? So Virgos, you powerful. You powerful, bro. You powerful, sis. You in the body. You here to make magic. So these leap of faith moments, what's the worst that could motherfucking happen? What's the worst that could happen? You fall, you stumble, you learn something, you grow. But the experience is what y'all need. Y'all research the fuck out of something, right? Y'all informative as hell. Y'all Mercury is active like a motherfucker when it comes to researching in the earth element in a linear way. Researching things dealing with reality, stability, security. Y'all love that word, security. Security ain't got nothing security is the opposite from faith and belief. So this is why you guys can manifest staying in a certain routine, in a certain career, in a certain position. And you guys are mutable, so you're stable, you'll pay attention to different forms of transitioning or evolving or transforming. Y'all will do that. But it could be transforming into another stable spot, another super secure spot, another super secure spot. So if I'm gonna transform, I gotta make sure this landing is gonna be there. So this is why when it comes to things dealing with your dreams, with your imagination, Virgos, this is when these leaps of faith is gonna really kick in for y'all. So, certain other signs your opposite sign Pisces, they could be long lost gurus and hippies and be stuck in illusions with their art because they believe that much or in some shit. End up turning an illusion into reality though. Be stuck in a illusion with music or something for a while. A couple of years later, blow up with music. Like, damn, they ain't never let the faith and belief out that shit. So it's like both spectrums. This, once again, this you always can learn from your opposite sign. But when you look at your debilitation, you learn from your opposite sign because that's their ruler. So Virgos, you learn from Pisces what how they drop their guard with security and allow their creativity or things that they want to experience flow. They go through their detriments doing that too, but you need to learn to do that some more. So you can see what you're really made of, Virgo. Alright. Now when we get into Venus, what is Venus? Venus is how we love, how we relate. It deals with relatability, how we connect. It deals with our feelings, it deals with pleasure, it deals with appreciation. It brings support. So this falls in Virgo. And this is another thing when we talk about debilitations. Remember that also debilitations before we to conclude Jupiter and Neptune. When we talk about debilitations, we can play out the extremes of these energies as well, because we don't know how to deal with the energy properly. So when it comes to Jupiter and Neptune, sometimes Virgos can be in heavy illusions, depending on how hard they're working on something, and something might not be coming through for them, and now they reaching out to escape mechanisms. So that Pisces Virgo axis could deal with a lot with tapping into different forms of escape mechanisms. Both of them. Pisces, because they're naturally in the subconscious realm, and every time they're dealing with so much reality, they'll utilize that to make them to paint illusions as if that's what's connecting them to reality. So Pisces just have to learn to break their life path deal with bringing their dream imagination down into reality. Virgos, you guys could be overwhelm yourself with what you're trying to cultivate in reality and end up feeling like you need an escape mechanism. So this is when you might fly with some Jupiter Neptune energy and be in another world, some Pisces. Be in a career, but the Virgo don't really be there though. They show up to work on time. They've been employee of the month 3 times this year. It's November. They about to go for their 4th one. But they not really there though. They not really there. They kind of plugged out. So sometimes we get lost and overdo our own energies of what we're paying attention to and overwhelm ourselves in all different types of shapes or forms. And this is how a Virgo could do this. So this is why, if you manifested as a Virgo Sun Moon rising, a lot of situations in this life, you're gonna learn how to manage your time, your regiment, how you schedule your own rest, how you pay attention to what you're putting in and out your body on all types of levels, not just physically, on all types of levels, because you still got that opposite Pisces axis. You still on that energy. All right, y'all. So that's what we're dealing with, that energy as well. So now Venus. So Venus, how we love, appreciate, connect our feelings, what we like, what we want to connect to, what we want to support. All right. And when Venus is debilitated or at a fall state for your archetype, it's going to be a debilitation, or it's going to be an energy that mishandles how it deals with love and affection in some type of shape or form. How they push it out, how they receive it, or both, overall. So when we look at Virgos with Venus falling here, Venus is exalted in Pisces. So when Venus is in Pisces or the 12th house, Venus deals with its pleasures, with what it loves, but the 12th house in Pisces deal with your imagination, your fantasies, your dreams, the subconscious realm. So there is like, whatever I value, it's here. It's in the subconscious. I just have to believe in that shit, and I can access it. I can connect to it. And it values the imagination. It values belief. It values its dreams. Venus in Pisces, Venus in the 12th house. So when we look at this opposite energy with Venus and Venus in Pisces, love. Let's not forget that. Loves connecting, loves love, loves unison amongst the collective, loves relating, appreciates the exchange of emotion. That's the natural archetype of Pisces. We in Pisces season right now. Venus has just moved into Pisces, as I just said that. So with Venus being in its fall state, when a planet is in its fall state, it's more so resting. It's in the subconscious energy. Okay, so just like when you're in your subconscious energy, aka when you're dreaming, when you're asleep, this is more so a planet being in that same stage. You know, the planets, they all have their transits. They have homes, exaltations, neutral positions, all right, debilitation areas. So when we get to fall states, this is when we could say a planet is resting in its subconscious state. Now, when we deal with our fall state energies, we could deal with vulnerabilities. It could be a lack of clarity with these energies. It could be foggy. We could feel super capable. We could feel very incapable, insecure. So when it comes to love, when it comes to love and support, Virgos don't be feeling like they had that. They don't be feeling like they had that. And they be feeling like when they are getting it, that should be feeling like a dream. It be feeling like an illusion at times. So with them naturally having Venus in a space where, you know, they don't have access to it like that, when they do experience forms of love, support, and people appreciating them, the way they analyze it and they're critical of it, it can make them very vulnerable when Virgo are dealing with when they really realize they really like somebody, they really love somebody. That'll make a Virgo already dealing with the nervous energy, trying to make things perfect. So when they deal with real feeling, emotion, really like or love somebody, you might see the most critical Virgo of all time. Because it's like, I don't experience this shit. I don't fucking genuinely experience real connection and somebody really valuing my emotions or where I come from, or trying to or really value and appreciate or trying to compromise with me in some type of shape or form. You know, understand my emotional outlook on things. That might not be there. You know, Virgo, Sun, Moon, and risings. So when they do experience this energy, they're gonna feel like they gotta work on it. They're gonna feel like they gotta at times they can overdo it. This is where some clingy energy comes from with Virgos. A lot of the quote-unquote clinginess you may hear about a Virgo comes from some of that energy with Venus being in its fall state, because you connecting to this Virgo and not even understanding that a lot of things in their life, they had to go through rigorous work, or they just didn't experience that type of energy. So when they get it, they want to hone in on it. They want to hold it tight. They want to nurture it. They want to make sure they don't do. They're super critical of themselves now, because they don't want that. They don't want them for some reason to be the reason why the love fucks up, why the true connection fucks up, why the relationship fucks up. So these are like the love issues a Virgo could deal with Venus being in its fall state here. Okay. Libra, Scorpio cusp. I got Venus in the 8th house, so I got some Venus debilitations here too. So man, we all can get big group hug for everybody, for all my Aries Scorpios, motherfucking Virgos, Venus and Aries, Venus Scorpios, Venus and Virgos, Venus in the 1st house, Venus in the 8th house, and Venus in the 6th house. Group hug. You feel me? We got some karmic work to do with love. That's real shit. And Virgos, this is my advice. When you manifest forms of what seems to be genuine connection to you, reciprocation of your emotion, somebody that's putting effort to work on what's trying to be related and balanced, You have to allow that effort to be balanced. You have to allow that effort to be reciprocated. Because this helps with with you not really having clarity to deal with it. Because with you overdoing it, that leaves opportunities for the other person. And you guys love to service. You guys learn how to work on things. So this is, that archetype comes into the relationship though. So not only do you can overdo working on it, you overdoing, valuing and appreciating the relationship, beaming off the love, trying to keep the love in the air. That can leave opportunities for your partner to take advantage of that, let you just play your part and just try to get their fruits of their labor. Now this starts playing out illusions. Now they start playing out some Jupiter, some Neptune energy here. Okay? And this is what you want to keep in mind. That's what you really want to keep in mind there. Allow people to show you the effort that you're showing. The honeymoon phase, the you know, the relatability and all that. Ride that wave. Ride that wave. Try you Earth, be your best to be in the present during them energies as well when you're connecting with others as well, Virgos. You have to learn not to try to plan the next step. Go out your way to plan the next date. Go out your way to set up that text to lead into another conversation. Like, let that be reciprocated, Virgos. I know experiencing forms of support or whatnot may really seem like it's something that doesn't come by, but when it does, you want it to be as genuine as possible. And that's how you can filter through it, because that's something you guys are not going to have natural clarity with when it comes to relating to feelings and love and understanding true appreciation and support. Venus is in its fall state here. Okay? So but you guys gonna value working on things though. You know, and this is why you guys, Virgos, could go out their way to show love too. Virgos could go out their way to show love. You know, because it almost could be it could play out as an overcompensation for not receiving it. It could play out. So this also adds on to the quote-unquote clinginess as well. It adds on to that as well. All right, so you just got to be careful of that. Always want that shit to be reciprocated. Venus, look at the signs Venus rules. It rules Libra and Taurus. Them signs gonna wait for some shit to be reciprocated. They're gonna set up the environment for you to do your thing though, because they understand relating. So they're gonna set up the environment for you to play your part. But that shit gotta be reciprocated. It has to be balanced. Okay, so Virgo, this is what y'all can learn here. And also learn to let your love, in unison with Venus and Jupiter and Neptune, Virgo, let your love flow some more. Let it flow some more. Whatever you're gonna experience within your relationships is what you're gonna experience. Allow yourself to experience it, Virgo. Allow yourselves to experience that shit. But grow. Whatever the result is, grow from that. Don't stay complacent. Don't stay super duper critical about the next experience after the result of a certain experience. Keyword Jupiter Neptune, experience. All right, Virgos, life is about experiences. So don't get too caught up trying to plan every next go round. All right, Virgo, Sun, Moon, and Risings. So y'all already know what it is, man. It's your guy Border, Lucky Libra. Tuning in, tuning out. Y'all make sure to tap into my website to connect with the Lucky Libra, and y'all make sure to tap into my Patreon where I'm getting into deeper analysis, celebrity synastry breakdowns, monthly classes, and more. Until next time, family, peace.